Your parents say buy. The internet says rent and invest the difference. Your coworker who just bought a house says it's the best decision he ever made. And your other coworker? He hasn't slept since the inspection report came back. Everybody has an opinion, but almost nobody has run the actual math past month 1. So today, we're doing something different. We're taking two people, same income, same city, same budget, same savings. One rents, one buys. And we're tracking every single dollar for 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which side wins. And it's not the one most people expect. And this is Build a Millionaire. Subscribe now. Let's go.
Meet Jake and Marcus. Both earn $55,000 a year. Both saved $60,000. Both want the same thing: a 3-bedroom place, decent commute. Marcus buys a $300,000 home, puts $60,000 down. 30-year fixed mortgage at 6.5%. Monthly payment, principal and interest, $1,517. Property tax, $250. Insurance, $130. Total, $1,900 per month. Jake rents a comparable place for $1,400 per month. No down payment. He takes his $60,000 and drops it into the S&P 500, averaging 8% annually. On day 1, Jake looks like the smarter person in the room. Lower monthly cost, no maintenance, no property taxes, and a growing investment portfolio. But there's something Jake doesn't realize yet. Something that won't become visible for years, but will eventually define everything.
The first 3 years, Jake wins, and it's not close. Jake's furnace breaks, landlord fixes it. Roof leaks, landlord pays. Dishwasher dies, replaced for free. His only costs, rent plus $15 per month renter's insurance. Meanwhile, his $60K invested at 60% 8% is at $75,600 by year 3. He hasn't added a single dollar, just compounding. Marcus? Different story. Closing costs, $9,000 day 1. Property taxes, insurance, maintenance, 1 to 2% of home value per year, $3K to $6K annually. And here's the kicker. In year 1 of a 6.5% mortgage, he pays around $15,400 in interest. Only $2,800 goes to principal. Through year 3, Jake paid around $50,400 in rent, has $75,600 in investments. Marcus spent over $103,000, built only $9,500 in equity. If the story ended at year 3, renting wins. But the story doesn't end at year 3. Jake's lease renews. Rent goes up 4%. $1,400, $1,456, $1,514, $1,575. Each increase feels small, but it never stops. Now look at Marcus. His mortgage payment? Same on month 1 as month 360. $1,517 for 30 years. Rent is a variable cost that only trends up. A mortgage is a fixed cost that inflation slowly makes cheaper. By year 10, Jake's rent, $1,870 per month. Marcus still pays $1,517. By year 20, Jake, $2,510 per month. Marcus still $1,517. By year 30, Jake, $3,370 per month. Marcus pays 0 principal plus interest. Done. By year 6, something shifts. Marcus's home appreciates at 3.5% per year, historical average. House worth about $347,000. Mortgage balance, $269,000. His equity, about $78,000. But here's what most people miss. Leverage. Marcus earns appreciation on $300,000, not on his $60,000. When the house goes up 3.5%, that's $10,500 in appreciation. On his $60,000 down payment, that's a 17.5% return.
Jake's index fund? 8% return on just the money he put in. No leverage. By year 10, Jake $193,000 spent on rent. Index fund, $129,000. Marcus, $285,000 spent, but home worth $423,000, mortgage balance about $253,000, into equity $170,000. Marcus is now ahead by $40,000, $60,000. And the gap only grows from here.
The invest the difference strategy only works if Jake actually invests the difference every month for 30 years without touching it. In theory, yes. In reality, that $500 a month gets absorbed. A nicer car, dinners out, a vacation, a couch that was on sale. A mortgage, on the other hand, is forced savings. Every month, whether you feel like it or not, you build equity. You don't need discipline. The structure does it for you. Renting as a deliberate strategy with automated investing? Smart. Renting as a default you never question? One of the most expensive choices you can make.
I'd be dishonest if I said buying always wins. Rent if you're staying less than 5 years. Break even is 5 to 7 years. You live in SF, Manhattan, LA, Seattle. Price to rent ratio is broken. Your career needs mobility. Transaction costs will kill you. You genuinely have the discipline to invest every single dollar saved and never raid the account. But be brutally honest with yourself. The data says most people don't.
By year 30, Marcus makes his final payment. He owns a $700,000 plus home. His monthly housing cost drops to taxes plus insurance plus maintenance, maybe $600 a month. Jake? Paying $3,370 a month to a landlord for the rest of his life. No finish line, no month 361 where the payment stops. When Jake is 70, retired on fixed income, his rent is higher than ever. When Marcus is 70, his biggest expense is gone. Neither Jake nor Marcus was stupid, but Marcus won because he locked in a fixed cost in an inflating world. Leverage made his money work 5x harder. He crossed a finish line. Jake never will. The real trap isn't renting. The real trap isn't buying. The real trap is making a $300,000 decision based on 1 month of payments without asking what it costs over 10 years, 20 years, a lifetime. Next time your lease renewal shows up with a 4% increase that feels like nothing, run the numbers. Because 4% doesn't feel like nothing when you add it up over 30 years. That's the only math that matters.